Hey guys, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. Definitely remember to subscribe so you can see more videos if you end up liking my content, and give this video a thumbs up if you do like it. Today's video is going to be about one of my modeling horror stories, and I was actually inspired by another YouTuber, Natalia Taylor. She just recently posted a video of one of her modeling horror stories, and I decided to speak out about one of my experiences because I know her, me, and so many other young models deal with this situation or are put in this situation every day, all the time, and I figured that it would help if I could give some advice about my own experience. Being a model for many years now, I've found myself in many uncomfortable positions, and thank God it's never been a dangerous situation because I have gone to photo shoots alone, and that's my number one tip to any other young models, to never go alone. Always bring someone, and if a photographer tells you that you're not allowed to bring someone, then definitely run the other way. You should always be able to be comfortable as a model in any situation. As I've gotten older, I've realized that situations in the past where I felt like in my gut something was wrong, I should have left at that time, or I should have said something and spoke up about my feelings and not done something that made me feel uncomfortable. There's this weird gray area though when you're in person and you are intimidated, and maybe the photographer is paying you, so you feel like you need to do what they're telling you to do. So you're afraid to say no. Maybe you're afraid of their reaction, or maybe you feel like you need to be edgy because someone's manipulating you into thinking that other models should do that, or that that is the image that you should be portraying and it would look great. So you just need to have the image of what you want and what you want to be portrayed as in this specific photo shoot in your head, and stick with it just as a straight line. And it's your job as a model to say no, verbally say no and walk away, or just be very clear about what you want and what you don't want in that moment if something is going a way that you wouldn't want it to go. And I'm here to open your eyes about the modeling industry and how things really are a lot of the time. This particular photo shoot happened not too long ago, just around 2 years ago. So I've had a lot of experience, which shows you that even more experienced models do deal with this tough situation and also still have trouble speaking up. The photo shoot that I'm going to tell you about was a paid shoot for a magazine. The photographer, which I will not say names, I will not say the name of the magazine, I don't want to get sued and nobody got time for that right now, but he contacted me and inquired about my rates via email, and he told me about his vision for me in this magazine, said it was a magazine for women, to empower women. Sounded like a perfect shoot for me, perfect deal. I was super into it. So let me just start you off with pre-shoot. Pre-shoot communication is super important between model and photographer. This is important for numerous different reasons. One, so the model doesn't show up to the shoot wearing something totally out of the creative vision of the photographer. You want to work together and kind of agree on something, but you don't want the model showing up to your shoot wearing something that just doesn't fit the vision at all. Two, so the model can feel comfortable, so she knows what she's wearing, she knows what she's comfortable and what she's not comfortable wearing, and you can openly discuss that beforehand. That's usually the best time, not in person in the moment. So as the model, you would want to be very clear about what you're comfortable doing and what you're not comfortable doing. So this wouldn't apply, the situation I'm going to talk about wouldn't apply to models that want to do nude shoots, want to do provocative poses and dress with less clothing. There's a time and place for that. There's a certain look for that. Like if that's her thing as a photographer, perfect, works for you. You're a great match if you're both into that. If the girl is saying that she does not want to be portrayed that way, then don't go off course with that and respect that. Like stay on that line. The third reason why it would be important is just for the outcome of the final product, is to both have a great idea so you can work together effectively to get great photos, whether it be for portfolio work or just like an Instagram collab, whatever it might be. It's very important to communicate pre-shoot. So there were no problems pre-shoot communicating with this photographer. We came up with a lot of great ideas together. I laid out outfits on my floor, took pictures of them. They were really just kind of my own casual style: jeans, t-shirt, crop tops, cute blouses, a floral A-line dress, and we agreed on a girl next door kind of country homegirl look. Just a look that really like fit my style and brought out who I truly was. So I thought that was super perfect. I even I think I had like Converse in my bag, just to give you like a painted image of what kind of outfits and looks we were going for. So that was agreed on. And then came the day of the shoot. I arrived alone. I didn't bring anybody with me, and I would recommend, if you're a young model or any model, just bring someone with you. Always have someone there just to have like a little check in place. I don't know. It's just always a good safety tip. Thank God nothing happened to me. But my first red flag was not the location. This was a legit business. This was a legit location. Great area. Went inside, there's other people working there on the computers, writing, I guess, for the magazine or editing, whatever they may be doing. So I didn't feel uncomfortable when I first walked in at all. I was fine. My first red flag was when we sat down in his office. And I guess this was kind of just to refresh and rediscuss what we were doing for the shoot. And he handed me a stack of photos, prints of another model that he had shot with. And they happened to just be all topless shots, completely nude topless shots. And he asked me if I'd be interested in doing that. Now, in his defense, he did not ask me. I don't think he asked me pre-shoot if I wanted to do nudes, because I would have said no. But in that moment, I feel like some photographers might think it's easier for a girl to be pushed into something. Like Natalia Taylor said in her video, they chip away slowly and kind of work ambiently at trying to get you to push you out of your comfort zone and do what they want you to do. So in retrospect, this was his first attempt at guiding me towards a different style. My next red flag was when he threw in some comments about another model he worked with, sexual endeavors, and then threw in stuff about his own sexual life, really private, weird stuff you wouldn't say to someone when you first met them. Like in the first 20 minutes of meeting them. It made me feel uncomfortable. I definitely wasn't feeding into it or asking any questions about it. So it was kind of like a WTF moment, like super unprofessional. He led me to a secluded location where I could change into the first outfit. So he left me upstairs, he went downstairs, and I was like, all right, sounds good. All by myself, started kicking off my socks and shoes. And then I look up and I see a security camera pointed right at me. Now, this is a fairly nice building. It's a real business. There's other workers there. There's a lot of expensive equipment here. This guy had legit reasons to have security cameras. I would inside a business, but would you put your model there to change right in front of it without letting her know? This is the point where I should have walked downstairs and said something, or I should have just left, because at that point, you weren't being open with me, and that's clearly, if you own or lease or whatever, you're the owner of this magazine and you run this business, you know where those cameras all are. And this will link into the end of the story even better. You'll see just how creepy this gets. This was like a dimly lit space, so not every model, I feel like, would have noticed that there was a camera there if they weren't as observant as I was. So thank God I noticed. Should have just left. Didn't leave. I was scared to say anything, so I just found like a bunch of stuff to hide behind, like a half wall of stuff that was like out of the camera's view, and basically just changed as if I was in like a car out in public, really concealed and really fast. So I went downstairs to do the first set of shots, and after we started shooting for a little bit, it was fine, but then he started to slowly try to guide me towards a style that we didn't agree on. He started offering, how about one of these corsets? How about one of these like fetish high heel, like chunky goth industrial fetish heels? Like, these stockings are really hot, like they look so good on my other models, like you should try some of these on. What about one of these crazy wigs? Like not my style, like kind of pushing him away on that, and he keeps kind of pushing me towards it. So somehow I didn't stay on track. I didn't stick with my gut. I guess because I thought he was paying me, so he had the right to tell me what to do. I wore something I wouldn't have normally wanted to wear. I ended up wearing some stupid denim jacket with like nothing under it and a dog collar with spikes, like the dumbest fetish thing. And this was all guided to me because he was like, oh, you know, like your outfits, like my followers are gonna think that you look like a hick in them, like it's not their style. And the more he talked about it, the more I was like, it sounds like he's talking about guys and like kind of like a fetish thing, like guy followers and what style they would like more edgy shots like this, like sexy. And I'm just like, I'm being guided in a direction that I do not want to be going in. But I was stuck in that gray area where I didn't want to say, hey, no, dude, we didn't agree on this. There was even a female assistant that came along with me and the photographer for a few shots, and he was still talking inappropriately, mentioning sexual things, just making me a little uncomfortable, even with her there. So that just goes to show you that like either he had her there to maybe make me like let my guard down, to make me trust him more, or I don't know what reason. Like in any situation, like if you feel uncomfortable, like just get out. I should have gotten out, but I didn't. Just remember, this was supposed to be a magazine that was for women, empowering women, and it is a legit magazine that I think is in that direction. There are articles in it for women, but I found out that later on there's like this fetish section that I was not told about beforehand. And I think these photos were mainly for that, and maybe like for his own personal stash. I don't know. You don't know that. That's the thing with photographers, whether they be like a young guy or an old guy. You don't know. Young guys could be totally just using your body to get Instagram hits and then have the benefit of having your photos in their own personal stash and sharing them with their friends. You don't know who to trust, so you really need to know who you're working with. Communicate with them for a while before the shoot. And even then, it's really hard to trust photographers, so you just need to know in the moment when things are being pushed a certain direction that you don't want to go in. Near the end of the shoot, I go down to his office to do like the last set of photos after I've already shot in like black crop tops and skirts and high heels and collars and stick this on. My followers will love it. And I see the hub of all the security cameras on like a TV screen or a monitor right behind his desk, and that's where he sat while I was changing. So every time I would go up to change, he would go downstairs and wait for me in his office with the cameras, so he would be watching. So I'm thinking to myself, how many other models did he do this to? Like, how many models didn't see the camera? You know what I mean? Like, I'm lucky I did, and I could hide and be smart about it, or as smart as I could in that situation about it. But man, that is just so super creepy. He made other comments while we were shooting the last outfit, like, oh my God, that's so sexy, Danny, you're killing me, so hot. Like language that any of my male photographers that I normally work with, that I'm close with and comfortable with, would never use. Like there's just a world of difference between language. Just, you gotta know what not to say. I feel like just some guys don't care. And I just want you to remember as a model that if you sign a photo release form, it's pretty much impossible for you to get those photos down if you regret them later on. So that's when you really have to just speak up for yourself and don't do anything you're uncomfortable with, because you're represented by those photos and you might want them down, but you signed it away, so now the photographer has all the rights to them. And unfortunately, a lot of the time in the moment, you can't tell that it's happening. You are masking it so you can model better and, you know, not get upset and not show those emotions. So you're so focused on the shoot that that gut feeling may fall to the back, and you might regret it later on when you can't take these images back. And a lot of the times in a situation, even any social situation, it's like, if people are manipulative, it's super easy if they're really ambient about it to get someone to do something that they didn't initially plan on doing, but in the end make them think it was their idea also. So that's what I think happens a lot of the time with young impressionable models and some photographers any age, young or old. A lot of the time their mail is just to get them to think that this is the idea that they want. They want to look like this. They want to be that cool, edgy model. Like, look what all the other girls on the internet are doing. They're modeling topless. Like, maybe you should. Like, just they have really good ways of doing it. And if you want to model topless, but if you don't freaking do it. You get clouded and then you leave and you feel dirty. You see the images online and you regret them. I think myself and a lot of other models have had these moments where I've seen a picture that I didn't really want put up, but I didn't say no in that moment, so there it is. And that's your image. It's representing your modeling and yourself, and it's very easy to Google someone these days, so as long as you're comfortable with your style, then just make sure that you know what's gonna go up. And I know it might be hard in the moment to be firm and say no, but no amount of pay is worth your self-respect and changing the way that you want to be looked at online in an image. And a lot of those Instagram guys just have a camera, so definitely do your research on if you're working with an artist, a professional, or just a dude that gets you naked on a couch with like a red sheet or something and takes pictures of you like all oiled up. Trust me, I've had a lot of experience. I've seen a lot of different types of photographers, so I have a good eye and good radar for who to work with and who not to work with. And I think over the years, I used to just take any paid shoot, but it really does reflect your image in your portfolio, or even just if you're not like a professional model and you just want some photos taken, get a good grip of their background before you shoot with them and make sure that's the way you want to look. And like I said, if you're a girl that likes to do, like, if I work with the right person, sometimes I like to do something that requires a little bit less clothing if it's in an artsy way, but I know who that artist is, that photographer is, and I know what the final image is more or less going to look like and how I'm going to be portrayed, and it's not going to be something that I don't feel comfortable with. Do only exactly what you want, follow that line, stay on it, and have the power to walk away if something doesn't serve you. I hope this video helped you in some way. If it did, or if you'd like to help support this information, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more videos, press the little notification bell down below to be notified every time I post a new video so you don't miss one, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.